is my life anymore. Hey, it's me. Welcome back to Disheveled Hair Day with Patience. Right here, hold on. Does that make me look good? Anyway, so today I did not have a video to post, so I was like, maybe I'll just do like a college story time, because some stuff's happened over college. So this is the first story, the 911 story. Oh my gosh, this one is so embarrassing. So I was just like doing my thing. It's like we have theology soon, so like I've got my phone, you know, I'm like going downstairs with theology, and then my other two friends who are in theology are like waiting in the lobby, and they're like, oh, good news, theology is canceled. And I'm like, really? Great. So like, oh good, theology is canceled. So like, you know, they're sitting on the couch here, and I'm like standing next to the couch, and we're all just kind of talking like, theology is canceled, we've got nothing better to do, we might as well talk. So we're like, I'm just kind of leaning against the couch in like my cool hallway stance. Like, for those of you who haven't seen it, it looks like this. I'm very cool and attractive. It's very funny. Anyway, so I'm out there doing my cool hallway stance when suddenly I make like a big hand gesture and I lose my balance. Ooh. And like my shoulder hits this keypad that's in the middle of like the lobby, the dorm lobby. And so I'm like, hi, and it starts calling something. And I'm like, oh shoot. I'm like, oh no. So I quickly hang up, and it's like, okay, no harm, no foul. No one answered. It was probably just the help desk, right? Right? It was not the help desk. Anyway, I didn't know that then though. So I'm like, okay, no harm, no foul. We waited there to see if anyone was going to be like, hey, who called the help desk? We're like, nope, no problem. So I'm like, okay, so clearly it was nothing. They probably didn't get it anyway. So I'm going up, I go to my cube, I'm like doing my work or whatever. And then like all of a sudden, someone like, this is like an hour later, someone like taps on the back of my chair, and I like look up, cause like, and it's like the security guy, like the head security guy. And he's like, did you call 911? And I was like, what? And I was like, no, of course not. Why would I do that? And then I realized the keypad must have called 911. So I was like, wait a minute. And he was like, okay. And so he left. Yeah, I didn't get a chance to explain that it was accidental. I hope he realized that, or else that would be really bad. And I went back downstairs and I was like, guys! And Grace was like my roommate. She was like, yeah, he came in here and he was like asking everybody. And she was like, yeah, we figured it was you, but we didn't want to rat you out. I was like, thank you, Grace. I don't know. That was the 911 story. Oh my gosh, see, my face is heating up. I don't know if you can see it. So please be sure to like and subscribe. Okay, back to the video. Story number 2. This is the quirky paper. In lit class, we have this one paper that's worth like a whole bunch of our grade. It's either worth, I want to say it's worth like 30%. It's worth like a big percent of our grade. It's this research paper. It's 6 to 7 pages long. And the prompt was, he didn't really give us a prompt. He just said like, find something that's in the reading and enlighten our understanding of it. Like give us something like new or whatever. And so I was like, well, shoot, okay. So the first book was the Odyssey. I'm like, I'm gonna knock this paper out right away. I'm not gonna wait until the end. I'm just gonna knock it out. Boom, done. Have it, not worry about it for the rest of the semester. Be basically done with work for this class. So I'm typing my essay, blah, blah, blah. This took me like days to write, like 4 days, I want to say, because it's a lot. I mean, 6 to 7 pages. So someone else is like, wait, it has to be double spaced. And I was like, what? So then, because it was 6.5 pages, non-double spaced, I had to basically cut my essay in half. I feel like I was playing argument Jenga, guys. I was like, what can I take out without like ruining this whole thing? Like, I really cut it down while keeping the core of the argument strong. It was good. It was good. It was okay. For this topic, I feel like I need to backpedal a little bit. Since he said like enlighten, I was like, well, I need to find something new, like something new that like no one's done before. Because if I just like enlighten it, he's not gonna take that, right? Because this is a college course. He wants like something new. So I was like, so what's an argument that I could feasibly make? So I was like, I'm gonna argue that Kirky the Enchantress, who turned the guys into pigs, was actually the victim. And I looked it up, and no one else had argued this before. And I was like, perfect. It was pretty good. I made some good arguments. Actually, I'm gonna link my paper below so you can read it just for fun. And so I like handed it and I'm like, this is great. This is like, no one has argued for this before, and I have arguments that like are gonna blow the history of reading the Odyssey like out of the water. It's great. He's gonna read it to the class. I'm like, I'm full of high hopes over here. And then like we wait a month and I'm like so excited, like every class period I'm like, when do we get our papers back? When do we get our papers back? I didn't say that. I asked like one time, because I was like, I don't want to be annoying about it, but I was really excited. So then like a couple months pass or whatever, and we get our papers back, or rather, we get our grades back. And I look over on Canvas and I open up the assignment, bloop, and it's a B-. It's an 82. And I was like, what? Yo, I borderline had a panic attack in the bathroom. I was like, what the heck is this? I cannot get B's. I am not a B student. I know, to some of you it sounds like, well, patience, I get B's, and that's okay. I'm here on a lot of scholarships, so like if I start getting a lot of B's, I know I'm not gonna be able to afford college, so that's kind of like, it's kind of not cool for me. Yeah, so I was like, well, what am I gonna do? I was like, I guess I need to talk to him, like why the heck did I get such a bad grade? And he gave me back his comments, and his comments basically boiled down to, I do not agree. I can find faults with this argument. One of his main things was like, well, yeah, she turned them into pigs instead of killing them, but like, that just made it, because they had the memory of home, it just showed them how much more they were missing out on. I'm like, well, yeah, but they were alive. That seems like a matter of opinion to me. Ugh. So I don't know. I showed it to Mom, just to make sure I wasn't like seeing things, because like, I tend to exaggerate. If you haven't noticed, I'd have been like, it's just a matter of opinion, and it could have been he actually said like, your writing sucks, but like, that was not the case. I showed it to a bunch of people and they were like, wow, yeah, it looks like he just did not agree with your opinion. He just said you were wrong and gave you an 82. I was like, okay. So that kind of stunk. I feel like I should clarify, like later it's editing patience. I feel like I should clarify why this story is important. It's not so much that he disagreed with me or the individual grade. It's just that this thing right here is what I probably hate the most about college. In high school, I feel like I was always encouraged, like, explore, like, take what you've learned and, like, see what you can make of it and stuff. But here, I feel like exploration is very much discouraged, if that makes sense. Like, I had another teacher in another class, like, after the cricket thing, he had a paper and he was like, I want you guys to, like, really explore and have fun. And I was like, well, do you want us to, like, find something new? Or do you want us to, like, expound on something that you already know? And he was like, well, as my German teacher always said, you're not gonna find anything new, so you might as well not even try. So that's what I'm trying to highlight in this story, is this, this attitude of, like, you're a college student, you know nothing, you're here so I can shove information into you, and that's about it. I don't know. I really hate that. That's, like, the worst thing. My goal with the story time is to, like, share stories both, like, funny, but also ones that, like, kind of shape my experience here. Anyway, yeah, that's it. He let me actually rewrite the paper on a different topic, so now I am writing a paper on Dante's Inferno about contrapasso, and I am preaching to the choir, and you know what? I'm going to get a good grade, and that's all that matters at this point. Story number 3. That one guy. This is the story of a random guy who I've never really talked to, but apparently I have beef with now. And you might be thinking, but Patience, how is that possible? Well, roll tape. So, like, there I am, minding my own business, freshman Patience, and then, like, our RA asks, like, hey guys, like, I've heard that everyone finds this guy attractive, but, like, I'm a senior, so I can't tell. She was like, do you guys find this guy attractive? And I was like, I find his face attractive, if that's what you mean, but his personality isn't. So, like, she asked, so I was like, well, I gotta be honest, I guess, like, I don't know. So I said that, and somehow he found out. I don't know what he found out, or even if he found out. There was a period of like a week, because almost after I said it, I was like, you know what, Patience, that's really mean. And I don't talk mean about people. I'm not like a smack talker or anything like that. Like, I felt so bad. For like a week and a half, I was like, I don't care if you heard. I'm just gonna like walk up to him and like, hey buddy, I need to apologize to you. But I didn't do that, because if he didn't know, then it would look like I was soft-key insulting him. Like, I just went up to like, oh yeah, I'm apologizing, but actually I'm like passive-aggressively insulting you. I didn't want him to think that was the case. So I was like, well, does he know? Does he not know? I was like, okay, so if he like comes up to me and is like, yo, you said some stuff about me, I'm going to apologize. I'm going to apologize the heck out of that conversation. But you know what? If he doesn't, then I guess I should not. So I waited and he did not. So I was like, okay, I guess I'll just live in guilt for the rest of my life. And then, like, it started getting weird. So, like, life's going on. It's been, like, a month. Someone holds, like, a spikeball tournament to support the Model UN team. And I have friends on the Model UN team. And it's, like, it's $5. I'm like, okay, I love spikeball. I love my friends. Spikeball tournament. So I go over there, and there are, like, 3 people just, like, setting it up. And I'm like, oh, hey, like, where's the guy? Like, I have this thing. It's like, where do I pay or whatever? And, like, this guy, this man, he like flat out ignores me. He just like, all right, I said it. Like, come on, let's get the spikeball. Let's bring it up. And he like starts playing. I'm like, okay. I'm like, is there anything I can do to help set up? Silence, radio silence. I'm like, bro, I am standing like legit right behind you. Like, you are here, your friend is here, the spikeball is here, and I am right here. I don't know, mate. It was weird. It was really weird. Trust me when I say it was weird. So I'm like, at this point, I'm feeling kind of hurt. I'm like, okay, you're just gonna pretend I'm not there, like, okay, fine, but like, I came out here to support y'all, and you're just gonna be like a potato about it. So I was like, fine, whatever, huffily going back to my dorm. But you know what, instead of going there, I got practice basketball in the gym, which none of the boys were there, so that was nice. It was just me. So I could be bad in peace. I kind of have to see him, like, everywhere, and like, we both kind of, like, ignore each other. It's like, here. I don't know. Someday I'm just gonna, like, stare at him. Like, when we're walking by and doing the awkward shuffle walk, no one wants to look at each other in the hallway, I'm just gonna, like, meet eyes with him and be like, stare at him intensely the whole time, like, oh yeah? You want to look at me? I knocked over my headlamp with my head. Our fourth and final story for today is basketball. And this one is kind of an ongoing story, and I'm definitely going to make a video about it if I can get enough footage. So basketball, I was really bored, and I was like, you know what? I just need an activity to do. And at the activities fair, they had like a basketball table, and I was like, oh, okay. And they were like, yeah, we take walk-ons. You don't need any experience or whatever. And I was like, really? And I just kind of forgot about it until like basketball season started. So lucky young Patience decided to join the basketball team. Now, I didn't really know what basketball was. I feel like I should clarify this. When they told us that our first practice was on Monday, I did all of my research on what basketball was the night before, and boy was I surprised. I did not think that basketball was a running sport. Like, yeah, you run from like side to side, but I don't really watch like professional stuff, and like 89% of the time they're just like sitting there shooting hoops or whatever. So I'm like, okay, great. This is easy. I can do that, right? Right? So we get to practice, and we're running a lot, and I'm like, I don't like this. So I told my roommate when I got home, and I was like, there's a lot of running, and she was like, yeah, I mean, it's basketball. I was like, I didn't think this was a running sport, and she laughed for like a solid 3 minutes. It was not 3 minutes, that's an exaggeration, but she laughed for a very long time. I was like, okay, I get it. I signed up for this without knowing what it was. You can stop laughing now. We have this thing at the end of practice where you have to shoot like 20 free throws, and I have made my high score. Would you like to guess my high score? My high score until a couple days ago was 1 out of 20. But a couple days ago, I made 2 out of 20. Yeah, I know, I'm gonna be a WNBA star. I'm so good, yay! No, I'm not very good. So like, I showed up to practice the second day, and the coach went through like the 5 stages of grief, and then like he finally decided like, okay, all right, I guess Patience is here to stay. So yeah, I play basketball now. I don't know, man. Oh, I changed my shirt. Thank you guys for joining me here for my like mildly chaotic, a little bit disjointed story time. Please be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel before you go, and if you have a person you think would actually enjoy the story time, just send them this video. It might be fun. What even is my life anymore? Okay, yeah, so please be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. This is Patience Parrot signing off. Peace.